And welcome back to Blackie's Bulldog Tavern here in Smithfield, the home of the Mike Pressler Show. To have a little chat with one of the senior captains of the Bulldogs, Bob Maiorano. Bob, glad you could be here with us on the show today. Now, you've got a little bit of a unique situation here, as you actually have two of your brothers on the team with you, Glenn and Kevin. What's it like playing alongside your brothers?
It's interesting. The last time that actually we played together was in youth hockey. We were all on the same house hockey team.
Oh boy.
So it's been a while, but it's great going out there competing against my brothers, giving them a whack every time I can.
Yeah.
It's really a pleasure.
And now, is there ever a debate between the three of you of who's the better one?
Every day. I'm going to say personally, I think Glenn right now is the best lacrosse player out of all of us.
Yeah.
I think Kevin has the potential to be an unbelievable player, but right now I got to give it to Glenn. I think he's been doing a great job this year, but at the end of the day, I can still take both of them, so that's all that matters.
Absolutely. So now, prior to Bryant, you were a high school All-American at Fairfield Prep, where you also played hockey and football. What positions did you play in those sports?
In hockey, I was a center. In football, I was actually a safety and wide receiver, but we had a kid who went to Michigan, or to Minnesota, excuse me, as an offensive lineman, so I would play D-end against him as a scout guy and just pretty much just get rocked every day by this 350-pound kid.
Wow.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like much fun.
No.
Now, how old were you when you started playing lacrosse, and how did you kind of get into the sport?
Started playing lacrosse in 6th grade. My father played at Cortland State. I found his lacrosse stick in the garage. I asked him what it was.
Yep.
He told me, and I fell in love with it. Just running around hitting people. It was a great time.
Wow. So it wasn't something that they were like, oh, you need to play lacrosse. It was
Nah.
like you kind of found it on your own.
I found it on my own, and I watched the game. I was like, I gotta get involved in that.
Very cool. Now, you started your college career at Navy, but you transferred after one season. What were some of the biggest factors in selecting Bryant?
Well, actually, when I was leaving Navy, Coach Meade mentioned Coach Pressler as a guy to talk to. I really appreciated what Coach Meade did, how he coached the team, and Coach Pressler very similar in that respect. So I gave Coach P a call. They started recruiting my brother Glenn, and I figured, how great an experience would it be to play with my brother?
Right.
And the values that Coach P has and the way he coaches the program, the way you're accountable and responsible for everything you do, it kind of just drew me to him, and that's how it came about.
And that kind of leads right into my next question of what have you really learned from Coach Pressler and his staff in the years that you've been here at Bryant?
The biggest thing is from day one is loyalty to your teammates, to your coaches. I think that's the biggest thing, and just being accountable for everything you do. Being a respectful gentleman in everything you do, and representing your school and your team wherever you go.
Excellent. Now, in 2010, you suffered a season-ending injury in the first game of the season, so you had to sit out the rest of the year. What was it like having to watch from the sidelines for a full season and not really getting to play at all?
Right. It was a different experience, definitely. I remember that I wanted to get involved somehow, even though I couldn't play. I wanted to contribute to the team. I wanted to be involved. So I'd help with the coaches on a minor level, just doing the stats for the scout report of all the players on the other teams, putting up a little Excel table on there for them, and just, kind of motivating the guys on the team. If I could see a younger guy was down, go over, give him a chat, try to build them up a little bit. But it was tough. Being on the sideline is just, it's not where you want to be as a player.
No, not at all. And what was the rehab process like? What kind of things did you have to go through in trying to get back?
Well, we have Patrick O'Sullivan's our trainer. He's unbelievable with what he does. He pushes you to the max, and a lot of just lunges, stabilization stuff to get your knee stable and the muscles around it to get back to cutting laterally and vertically.
Right.
Everything you do on the lacrosse field. So it was a while, but.
Now, I guess one of the bright spots could be that you also got to play now with your younger brother, Kevin. So being a freshman, that situation wouldn't have been able to happen without the injury. So
Absolutely.
I guess a little bit of a silver lining there.
Oh yeah, no, Coach. And again, it's one of those things where Coach Pressler just goes back to loyalty, saying, "Rob, would you like to come back to a master's degree and play with both your brothers?" And having the opportunity to do that, it's definitely one of the highlights of my life so far. So.
Now, what kind of personal goals did you set for yourself coming to this season, and how do those match up with what you guys are trying to accomplish as a team this year?
Okay, well, coming into the season, last year, in my opinion, I had a terrible season on the field. Coming back from the ACL injury, just wasn't really myself, had that knee brace on. So coming into this year, I wanted to establish myself as a ground ball leader on the team, try to be the #1 pole, and then win an NEC championship and get into the NCAA tournament.
Perfect.
That's about it.
And as one of the 5 captains on this team, how do you see your role both on and off the field?
Well, as one of the older guys, because I am the oldest out of all our captains, I kind of just see myself as the guy who can recognize when certain players on our team are down, kind of need to motivate them or talk to them in a different capacity than other guys on our team. So on the field, kind of just knowing when to push and when not to push individual players, and kind of just always bringing that same, the energy level to practice every single day, and kind of letting guys feed off of that. Then off the field, just being a man of Bryant, basically. Being a gentleman, representing your school and your team on every level, every
Truly leading by example.
Exactly.
Now, for the first time this season, you guys are going to be playing multiple games in a week. How are you guys preparing to handle that extra workload and probably the extra stress that goes along with it?
The bottom line is leadership. Like Coach P says all the time, I think when you have Saturday, Tuesday games, it goes back to the upperclassmen on the team, letting them set the example. It's kind of out of the coach's hands, really. They do all the preparation that you can, but like Saturday, Tuesday game, you have one day to really prepare. It's all about the players on the team, and the upperclassmen, kind of set the stage for how it's done, and so everyone else just kind of follows them.
Right. And now, as I've asked your other teammates that have been on the show already this season, what's a typical game day like for you? And do you have any kind of strange rituals or superstitions or things that you might follow on a game
I'm not going to lie, I really have no superstitions at all. The only thing I do is the night before a game, I have steak, baked sweet potato, and asparagus every time. But that's about it. Other than that, Jameson has his boxers thing that he does.
Yep.
I'm the exact opposite. You prepare during the week, you're ready to go. The whistle blows and you hit someone. That's how I look at it.
Well, we know it's a busy week for you, as you guys got 3 games in about a span of 7 or 8 days. So we appreciate you taking the time out to be with us here today. That was Senior Captain Bob Maiorano of the Bryant Bulldogs. We'll be back with a preview of the rest of the week coming up here on the Mike Pressler Show on Cox Sports Television.